Welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro on a Thursday. Glad you could join us. A lot to get to, but I wanted to start. And by the way, we'll get back to your phone calls in a few minutes here at 702-257-5396 is the number to call. So, it's interesting because I used to work with a guy. I'm not going to say his name, but right-wing talk show host here in Las Vegas. I used to work with him. Nice guy. We worked together for years, never had a problem with him. But he would always trash Rachel Maddow. He would always say how Rachel Maddow, and by the way, not her show. He would call her disgusting. He would talk about her physical appearance. He would talk about her sexuality. Now, I'm not a fan of Rachel Maddow. In fact, I haven't watched her show in years because I think she's boring. I don't think she's very good on the air. But she seems like a nice lady. I don't have any personal vendetta against her. But this guy would just go after her left and right. And I said to him, why do you go after Rachel Maddow personally? She's never been arrested. She never hit her spouse. She seems like a nice person, and he couldn't give me an answer. And I said to this guy, why don't you ever go after Bill O'Reilly? Because this is a guy that is a true scumbag, right? This is a guy, his own kid wrote in a statement that he assaulted the mother of his own child. Bill O'Reilly we're talking about. And Bill O'Reilly's the guy who had a number of sexual misconduct cases that Fox News decided to pay off. Okay, he's a sexual predator. He's a scumbag. And any reasonable human being would tell you that. Talented guy. I watched his show. I thought he did a really good show.
Yeah, he's very good on
there. But this has absolutely nothing to do with my opinion of him personally. You could say a guy's a complete scumbag, but hey, you know what? Talented guy in the air. I've always said that about Bill O'Reilly, but he's just a really horrible guy. So for those of you out there that attack CNN every day, that attack Don Lemon or Jim Acosta, but you've never said one negative thing about Bill O'Reilly, there's something called accountability, and you don't have it. The reason why I bring up Bill O'Reilly is this. He appeared on Sean Hannity's show yesterday, and he made some of the most disgusting, insensitive comments about those who have died of the coronavirus. Have a listen to this.
The projections that you just mentioned are down to 60,000. I don't think it'll be that high. 13,000 dead now in the USA. Many people who are dying both here and around the world were on their last legs anyway, and I don't want to sound callous about that.
Oh, you're going to get hold on. You're going to get hammered for that.
I mean, a simple man tells the truth.
A simple man tells the truth. Now, listen, let me say this about Sean Hannity before I get to Bill O'Reilly. You could say what you want about Sean Hannity, whether you agree or disagree with his opinion. I tend to disagree with almost everything he says. But I will say this about Sean. He's not stupid. He knew right away. You know when you're at the poker table, folks, and right away you know somebody's bluffing and you call their bluff and you're right? That's exactly what Sean Hannity just did. He called Bill O'Reilly because Sean Hannity knew that what Bill O'Reilly said was wrong and awful. So he tried to cover up for Bill O'Reilly. And he said, whoa. Bill, you know you're going to be hammered for that, right?
And he doubled down.
And then Bill O'Reilly decided to double down. Sean Hannity knew right away what Bill O'Reilly. And by the way, I don't think Sean Hannity would ever say something like that. By the way, because I think Sean Hannity would be decent enough not to say
wouldn't say it like that. He would say it. He would imply the same thing, but he would say it more intelligently.
By the way, Bill, there are a lot of young people. We just had someone that called into our show yesterday. Yes, he had no underlying health conditions. Yeah, he did say he smoked a little bit.
No, he said he vaped for 4 years.
Right.
I mean, think about vape and what you do when you vape.
Okay,
you have chemicals in the back of your throat that are going through your lungs. I'm almost certain that anyone who vapes for an extended period of time has lung damage.
Okay, I understand that, but I want to get back on track to why I bring him up.
Okay.
There's a lot of young people that have died from coronavirus, whether they had underlying health conditions or not. For Bill O'Reilly to make a statement, well, they were on their last leg anyway, I think we all could agree is beyond insensitive and disgusting. There are people that have survived cancer. One woman in particular that we've talked about on this show that survived stage 4 breast cancer who died. Would you say to her family, well, she was on her last leg anyway? There a bus driver that they were talking about on CNN yesterday who was in decent physical condition in his 50s who died of the coronavirus.
What, the one in Detroit?
Yes.
Yeah,
there are plenty of people out there that without contracting the coronavirus, they would have been okay. These are fathers, these are daughters, these are sons, whoever the case may be. And for Bill O'Reilly to make an awful, disgusting statement like that, and by the way, it's not like he said, apologized for it or said, I'm sorry, I misspoke. He didn't say any of that. He doubled down on it. And if you listen to the rest of that audio, he actually continues. Now, Sean Hannity says, Wait a second, Bill. Are you talking about those with serious underlying health conditions? By the way, that wouldn't be the right statement to make anyway. And then Bill O'Reilly doubles down on it and he keeps going. And why Sean Hannity continues to invite Bill O'Reilly on the show is beyond me, because the guy is just an awful human being. And when I talk about responsibility of those in the media, we can have opinions, right? We could have opinions on people.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why he does, because a lot of Bill O'Reilly's audience now has transferred over to Sean Hannity.
Well, Bill O'Reilly doesn't really have much of an audience anymore because he doesn't have a TV show.
Well, that's what
anymore.
I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah. And Sean Hannity's always had huge numbers. So I don't know where Bill O'Reilly's followers have gone. I don't know. I would imagine on Fox News they probably have gone to Tucker Carlson because he's the one who basically replaced Bill O'Reilly. But regardless of where his followers or listeners went, I don't care how big of a Bill O'Reilly fan you are. The man is just a horrible, disgusting human being. God forbid, Bill O'Reilly, let's just say, gets cancer. Or you know what? Let's take it a step further for a second here. For those Republicans out there that love Rush Limbaugh. Let's just say, God forbid, Rush Limbaugh contracts the coronavirus. I can almost guarantee you, and I'm not a doctor, as Trump would say, but I can almost guarantee you at this stage, if Rush Limbaugh contracts the coronavirus, he's not going to make it, folks. So I ask this.
Considering he has stage 4 lung cancer, that's probably an accurate statement.
So I ask this. If Rush Limbaugh passed away and contracted the coronavirus, would Bill O'Reilly go on Sean Hannity's show and say, well, you know what? Rush Limbaugh was on his last leg. It was time for him to go anyway. Of course he wouldn't say that.
And better question is, if Rush Limbaugh, having advanced stage 4 lung cancer, were to contract the coronavirus and died, would the coronavirus be the cause of death?
Well, that's a completely different conversation. And I've made it very evident how I feel about that. If you contract the coronavirus and you die within a few months, yes, I think the coronavirus should be on the death certificate. But, more importantly, the comments that Bill O'Reilly made saying that they were on their last leg anyway are so insensitive, are so disgusting. But again, should we be surprised? This is a despicable man. Bill O'Reilly is a despicable human being. He is disgusting. And why Sean Hannity would continue to bring him on the show, yeah, I get it. He's a name. I get it. Trust me, I understand that. Right. But Bill O'Reilly comes on his show all the time. And I'm going to tell you something else. If anybody on this show made a statement like that, it could be a friend of mine, it could be Doug Basham, it could be you. If anybody, and I don't think you guys would make that statement, but hypothetically speaking, if any of you guys made a statement like that on this show, I would call you out for it immediately and say you are being extremely unfair and insensitive to those who have lost their lives. Not everybody was on their last leg. And by the way, even if they were, it's not your job to say that.
Well, and not everybody was on their last leg. You're right. But a lot of people who are dying were suffering from a lot of comorbidities. And a lot of people that are dying may have had 3 or 4 months to live.
You don't know that for sure. You just don't know that.
Brian,
you don't know.
Like, for example, in Kirkland, Washington, in the acute care facility, that is technically a step below hospice.
Okay, so
a lot of people are dying are sick. Like, for example, in Louisiana, 97% of the deaths in Louisiana, the people have had 3 or more comorbidities. The same thing with Italy. Being a very elderly population.
So are you defending what he said?
I'm not defending what. No, see, Brian, that's not. You're taking it out of context.
Well, what are you trying to say?
I'm not saying that they were on their last legs. What I'm saying is a lot of people that are dying were already very, very sick.
And that might be very possible, but if they didn't contract the coronavirus, those very sick people, most of them would still be alive today. Let's see what you think out there. 702-257-5396. Again, I think Bill O'Reilly is just a despicable human being, and his comments were disgusting. He owes everybody an apology, and I think Sean Hannity should also go on the radio today and say, I'm sorry for Bill O'Reilly's comments. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Kevin. Kevin, you're next up on the Vegas Take.
Hey, what's up, Kevin?
Hey, guys. Hey, you almost made me lose my train of thought, but just overall, I support what the governor is doing. He's trying to protect Nevada. Anybody that doesn't want to get on board with that, let them go outside, let them do their thing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to just make it worse. But what shocked me was, I think it's JD, what you just said was just that was just over the top. Trying
what did I say?
These people only had 3 or 4 months left to live.
No, I'm saying in a lot of the cases, if you have excess comorbidities and you are severely sick already, and you have 3 or 4 months to live, and you contract the coronavirus, I mean, that's happened on multiple occasions. There's nothing over the top about that.
but you were saying most of these people were on their last leg. I mean, you're just.
I didn't say that at all. I never once made that statement. The statement I made about Louisiana is true. 97% of the deaths in Louisiana, the people have had one or more or three or more comorbidities.
Go ahead, John.
Where are you getting your stats from? Fox?
Actually, I think I saw this on CNN.
Okay, right.
Okay. Yeah. What is it? Does it make a difference?
No, it makes a difference that you try to tap into your humanity a little bit and give leave the facts to the doctors. Okay, but just that was just kind of a offhand little comment that you made there. Without, I'm sure you don't truly know what the morbidity rate of people who are dying. It's just so insensitive. But that's you guys. But just overall, I guess.
Well, wait a second, John. Hold on a second. I didn't say that.
No, the entire narrative of this. It's not John. His name is Kevin. And Kevin, the entire narrative of this virus from the jump was that if you are young, you are at a very, very low risk. If you are older than 75, and if you have underlying health conditions, which would be the same thing as a comorbidity, then you are a higher risk. That's been the conversation from the start. So there's nothing over the top about that at all.
Go ahead, Kevin.
You guys keep trying to put this virus into a narrative is going to be your undoing. You don't make the calls on this thing. This thing makes the calls. Okay, this is not the flu. And when it gets a hold of you, it puts you down. Okay, you keep trying to wrap your hands around it, and you need to get your head around it.
Hey, Kevin, can you do me a favor? Can you send that message to the idiot in chief, which is also known as Donald Trump? He needs to know that.
I will try.
Yeah, please do. I appreciate the call, Kevin. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good call, Kevin.
702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Mike. Mike, you're next on the Vegas Take.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's up, JD? Brian. I want to talk about Sisolak, but I mean, JD, what you said is nothing. Listen, I mean, we need to start with the fake outrage. Listen, I'm diabetic, man, and I get a pneumonia shot every year. I know that my immune system, I have to watch out for the flu, watch out for pneumonia. I mean, it's just facts, man. Even if it was just a pneumonia or flu season, if you got a compromised immune system, you are more likely to die from something that other people that's normally healthy wouldn't.
All right,
exactly.
So let me comment on that. If I may, I've been a diabetic since I was 6 years old. I'm now 39 years old. My opinion is completely the opposite of yours. Here's why, okay? We can't make statements, irresponsible statements, and insensitive statements like what Bill O'Reilly said. Well, most of those people are on their last leg anyway. First of all, it's completely insensitive.
I'm not saying it wasn't insensitive. I'm saying that it's the truth, though. Like, if you have
a compromised
immune system.
Are you a doctor? You don't know if these people were on their last leg. How do you know that?
And you don't know if they wasn't.
Right, exactly. You just made weren't, not wasn't. And number two, number one, I shouldn't say number two, I should say number one, if we both don't know, then why the hell is Bill O'Reilly okay to say that then? Why is it okay for Bill O'Reilly?
Would you agree if you have a compromised immune system, you are more likely to possibly have more serious consequences if
let's go with that.
Somebody that's healthy.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Let's go with that opinion. So if somebody has a compromised immune system, you think we should think of them as, well, they were on their last leg anyway.
No, I don't think we should say that.
Okay, so we agree. We agree.
Right.
That's all. Listen, there's no question. Listen, I agree with you when it comes to this, okay? There's no question that some of these people that are getting the virus, they have compromised immune systems, and they have to be even more careful. I agree with you. But I think what got me a little fired up there was it sounded like you were defending Bill O'Reilly's statements. Now, to my understanding, is you're not, and I appreciate you clearing that up for me. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Brady. Brady, you're next.
What's up, Brady?
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. Brian, I got to ask you that. It seems like you Democrats, or maybe, I can't say you're a Democrat, you liberals, like Carl and yourself, are afraid
pod Brady down again. Pod Brady down again. Brady, if you don't like being pod down, you don't have to call this show ever again because, quite frankly, we don't need you. That's number one. Number two, if you're going to start a conversation and you want to have a good debate or an intelligent conversation, then you start the call by being respectful. You're right. I'm not a Democrat. Guess what? I'm also not a liberal. Why am I not a liberal? I believe in capital punishment. I believe in the death penalty. I believe in border security. I also have not voted for Hillary Clinton. I also have not voted for Barack Obama. In fact, I voted on the right. So I will give you a chance again. But when in the first 5 seconds of the phone call, if somebody says something that is not factual, and by the way, you're the champion of that. I would give you a gold medal for that if I could. You say things that are not factually accurate. Now, if you have an opinion on something that we disagree on, that's fine. I'll give you a chance. Would you like to start this conversation again? Let's try to start this conversation again. Welcome to the Vegas Take. Brady, you're next. Go ahead.
Good morning, semi-atheist Brian.
All right, get rid of him. He's done. I gave him a chance. He's done. Just a complete moron. 702-257-5396
Great call, Brady.
702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Dwayne. See, unlike some other shows that keep idiots like that on the air for 10 minutes, we don't tolerate it. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Dwayne. Dwayne, you're next on the Vegas Take.
Hey, what's up, Dwayne?
Dwayne, go ahead. Dwayne? Did we lose Dwayne? All right, we'll go to CJ. CJ, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, CJ. What's on your mind?
Doing well, CJ.
So, it's not really no one's place to say that they're on their last limb. That don't need to be said at all.
Right. I agree.
That's how I feel.
Well, so if you were, let's just say hypothetically speaking, CJ, you lost a loved one, and you heard Bill O'Reilly on the air say, "Well, your family member was on his or her last leg anyway." What would you say to Bill O'Reilly?
There would be nothing I could say. I would want to put hands on the man.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, apparently he's wanted to put his hands on a lot of women, but they didn't want those women didn't want any part of him. That's for sure, CJ. No, you're right. Listen, CJ, I think it's really important that we call out people like that. You know, so many people. We've
accountable for their BS.
Exactly, CJ. I couldn't agree with you more. And, you know, we've had people call into this show that have lost grandparents, that have lost loved ones, and my heart goes out to them. And, you know, I lost my grandmother in a car accident when she was in her late 60s.
Sorry to hear that, Brian.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So she was in her late 60s. I was 12 years old, right? I was in the car. And she died. She had some heart problems. You know, she wasn't the healthiest of all women. But the person who hit our car made a statement, well, she was old anyway. And when we got in the courtroom and I saw that bastard face to face, I got up and I said, you know what? My grandmother was 68 years old, but I have no doubt that she had many more years left in her because she was a very tough woman. And then the judge said, Brian, you are 100% right. I despise that comment. And then the judge chastised this man that basically killed my grandmother. And it kind of struck a nerve with me. You know what I'm saying? It struck a nerve with me. But who are you to say that my loved one was on their last leg? Who are you to value a life differently? Yeah, it's so disgusting, you know?
It's no one's place to say anything like that. Like, you're not a doctor. You're no one special, honestly. And it don't need to be said, period.
Yeah, well, very well said, CJ. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good call, CJ.
Yeah. I thought I would share that story about my grandmother because, you know, that was said, and it resonates with me. That term never goes away because I love my grandmother very much, and she died because somebody took his eye off the road and hit her head on.
Well,
and that was the state.
I'm going to break down the underlying health conditions that people that have died in Louisiana so far have had. 40% have been diabetic, 25% have had obesity, 23% chronic kidney disease, 21% cardiac, 12% pulmonary, 6% neurological, and yes, only 3% of those who have died in Louisiana have had no underlying health condition. So this disease, this virus does adversely affect and it affects much worse those who have underlying health conditions or comorbidities. But you're right, it does not mean that their life was necessarily on its way to being over.
Yeah, we don't know that.
And making that statement the way that Bill O'Reilly did, especially phrasing it the way he did, was totally unacceptable.
And, by the way, doubling down on it, too, when he had a chance to clean it up because Sean Hannity was smart enough to know, oops, he shouldn't have said that. Let me give him another chance. 702-257-5396. Mike, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's up?
What's up, Mike?
Mike, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on, man? 702-257-5396 is the number to call in. Plenty more to get to as we continue on the Vegas Take. We're going to talk a little bit about how unemployment numbers, or I shouldn't say unemployment numbers, how the unemployed affecting, professional sports gamblers including poker players, and now poker players are considering filing unemployment, which is unbelievable to me. We're going to talk about that coming up in hour number 2. Also, the Vegas Golden Knights, I've praised them. We had Dan Duva, who was the play-by-play guy for the Vegas Golden Knights, who was on our show not that long ago, last week. And, $1 million the Vegas Golden Knights have raised. But where is that money going? And who is it going to? Apparently some of the employees haven't received the money. So we're going to talk about that coming up in a little bit as well. But as I mentioned, getting back to your phone calls, back to our busy phone line, 702-257-5396. Let's go to Andrew. Andrew, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, Andrew.
Andrew, what's up? You're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Never listened to your show, but I'm just driving, and I decided to listen. And my observation is that I believe that you value your opinion so much to other opinions because people have a right to their own view on something, but if it doesn't fit with your view, you dismiss them. And I don't think that's fair, and I don't know
so let me ask you a question then.
You could stay on the air.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question then, Andrew. Andrew, let's have a conversation then. So if somebody dislikes a race or a religion and they say something of anti-Semitism or a racial slur on the air, it's their opinion. It doesn't agree with your opinion. Do you think they should still be on the air for being a racist?
No, but you're taking it out of context.
No, I'm not taking it out of context. Let's keep going with this. No, I'm not. Now, listen. Okay, now, again, if somebody goes on the air and they say these people were on their last legs anyway, do you think that is appropriate for a member of the media on a nationally syndicated show to say? You're okay with that?
Well, the fact is, there is a high percentage that were on their way out.
You have no idea. You are not a doctor, and you have no idea if that's the case. Yeah, so you have a problem. Yeah, so you have a problem with me sharing my opinions and going after Bill O'Reilly, somebody who is a sexual predator. You have a no. You're going to wait now. You have a problem with me, but yet you're defending Bill O'Reilly. Sir, you sound like a wonderful person with great character.
Defending Bill O'Reilly, and here you go again. Anybody who has a different opinion than yours.
No, you're defending Bill O'Reilly. I think you're an idiot for defending those comments.
You run it. Dude, I don't even know how you have a radio show.
You know how I have a radio show? You know how I have one? Because I know how to talk and you don't. That's why.
No, it's not.
Okay, go ahead.
Cool
Andrew is the new host of the Vegas Take.
Cool.
No. Hold on.
If it doesn't go your way, then you just X people
All right.
off.
Andrew, you are the new host of the Vegas Take. Go. Andrew, you are the host of the Vegas Take. Go. Go, Andrew. You take the rest of the segment. You're the new radio host. Go ahead.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Andrew, go ahead. You're the host. Go ahead.
I am the host.
Well, we're waiting. Go ahead.
Radio show. Anybody who has an opinion, you're welcome to share your opinion on my show. If I don't like your opinion, I'll let you know. But
Andrew, what are you talking about next segment?
And I'll still give you the consideration to have your opinion.
Okay, Andrew.
That's how you
great.
run a show,
great. Andrew, what guests do you have on in the next 2 hours, and what segment? What are you going to be talking about the next 2 hours on your show?
Oh, geez, man, you are so immature.
What do you mean? You're the host of the show. Andrew, you're the host. I want to know who you're talking with. Andrew, I want to know who your guests are.
Your way, I'm not going to.
Andrew, I'm giving you the floor. You should be thanking me. You're the new host of the show. Hello? What happened to Andrew? Andrew, I still hear you. Andrew, you're fired. You just lost the opportunity to be the new host of the Vegas Take. I gave you an opportunity. There is a difference between having a different opinion on politics. There is a difference between having different views. There's nothing wrong with that. And then there's somebody like the last caller who says, well, Bill O'Reilly is entitled to his opinion. Is there any logical person in society that thinks it's okay to talk about these victims of the coronavirus that have died and go on a nationally syndicated show and say they were on their last legs anyway, and now we have this idiot who calls in who defends it saying, well, it's just his opinion? Is there anybody at all that is okay with that other than this last caller who obviously doesn't have a brain? Anybody? That's what I would ask.
Okay, so you're saying that the way that Bill O'Reilly said it was callous and over the top, which I agree with. But are you also saying that this disease is not adversely affecting those who have underlying health conditions more, that you have a much higher risk of being hospitalized and dying if you have underlying health conditions. Are you saying that that's not true?
When did I say that was not true?
So is that true?
Of course it's true.
Okay.
Of course it's true. There is a huge, and I've said that earlier, there is a fine line between talking about people who are compromised because of other health conditions that they might have, and then saying, well, they were on their last leg anyway. There is a line there that you don't cross. Bill O'Reilly crossed that line. There is no question that if you have lung issues, if you have heart conditions, if you're elderly, if you're fragile in any way.
Or if you have all four at the same time.
Which is possible.
Like we had a death in Las Vegas last week. Phil Maloof died, 93 years old.
Which is possible.
Underlying health conditions.
But again, it goes back to what I said, and it doesn't change my opinion. When you go on a national syndicated show, or even a local show, I don't care where you are, and you say, well, they were on their last leg anyway. It is unbelievably insensitive, it is callous, and it is wrong. And for somebody to call in and say, well, they're entitled to their opinion, is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, pro gamblers in Las Vegas trying to collect unemployment. Your thoughts on that? Well, we'll get to it coming up next. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.